South Zonal Committee of the People's Democratic Party expresses satisfaction over President Goodluck Jonathan's led federal government. State government reiterates decision to sanction village heads whose community gets involved in communal clash. Ambassadors of the Republic of South Korea and that of Indonesia present letters of credence to President Goodluck Jonathan. Details of these and more in a moment. Good morning and welcome to AKBC 45 News. I am Jeffrey Orok. The People's Democratic Party South Zone has expressed satisfaction with Dr. Goodluck Jonathan's led federal government over what it described as courageous. The PDP Zonal Executive Committee made the assessment during a one-day visit to Akwa Ibom State. Patience John has the details.
The South Zonal Executive Committee of the PDP, led by the National Vice Chairman of the zone, Dr. Cairo Ojobo, said that the PDP government under President Goodluck Jonathan has acquitted itself by developing the different sectors of the economy. According to the committee, roots, agriculture, education, and health sectors have been tremendously improved. The National Vice Chairman of the zone, Dr. Ojobo, applauded the state government and other PDP-led governments in the zone for using resources available to them to affect the lives of the people positively.
That if the state government can put in efforts like Akwa Ibom has done, Nigeria will be a better place. And that is why the PDP must win more states in the next election so that more development and better society will be entrenched in Nigeria.
The state PDP chairman Obong Paul Ikbo, while commending President Goodluck Jonathan for being committed to serving Nigerians despite distractions from several quarters, said that the People's Democratic Party so far has not disappointed Nigerians and that it will continue to work for the good of the people. The state PDP chairman promised that Akwa Ibom will vote en masse for President Jonathan and other PDP candidates. Obong Ikbo congratulated candidates of various political offices who won on the platform of the People's Democratic Party during the primaries.
Gone around the entire state to propagate the ideals of a party. We saw the ideology of a party. We've shown performances so far of a party. We've told our people that there's no need to change the winning team. And that on those days, we have no business of any party than the People's Democratic Party.
Solidarity messages were received from the Secretary, South Zone PDP, Mrs. Philomena Ihenyen, the state deputy chairman of PDP in Cross River State, Barrister Fidel Egoro. Others were from the state youth leader, Mr. Nibege Umar, Mr. Richard Essien, the chairman of PDP chapter chairman in the state, Mr. Israel Idaison, and the state woman leader of the party, Obawan Glory Ifyong. They promised to massively vote for the PDP during this month's elections. A communique which supports term of President Jonathan was read at the end of the meeting by the PDP National Vice Chairman South, Dr. Cairo Ojobo.
That the federal government of Nigeria, led by His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, GCFR, has demonstrated courageous and visionary leadership, which has resulted in remarkable infrastructural transformation of our country. As the level of performance in WAEC and other related examination was between 18 to 20%. Now we record 80% due to massive educational transformation.
Patience John reporting.
Henceforth, any village head in the state whose community is involved in communal is to be removed from office by the state government. Governor Godswill Akpabio said this at Okoita in Ibionibom local government area during a meeting to resolve the lingering crisis between Ekambok and Idoro villages in the area. Colonel Nedem Efreti reported that the government's decision is meant to promote peaceful coexistence between communities in the state.
Governor Akpabio, who was represented by the deputy Lady Valerie Ebe, who is also the chairman State Boundary Committee, said that government will dismiss any village head whose community was in conflict with another over any issue. The governor advised village to exercise firm control over their affairs in their domains and be more responsible over lives and properties of their subjects, as well as live in peace with their neighbors. The governor, who decried the odd situation between the Ekambok village and Idoro in Ibionibom local government area, said it was regrettable that the people refused to embrace peace even after the court had ruled on the issue. He warned the Idoro community not to force government to take over the land as advocated by their leaders and the council authority, as such action may demand relocating them. The governor, who took time to educate the people on life and its importance, called on the warring communities to respect the law and the rights of others and live peacefully.
I'm seeking for peace. I recommend peace. But peace cannot go without you having the necessary punishment that is commensurate with the sin you have committed. It is sinful to kill. It is sinful to murder. It is sinful for you to be to your neighbor.
The Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Wemedi Monwoko, also spoke on the need to ensure peace in the area and added that every crime committed in the course of the crisis will be punished. The Attorney General, who regretted that the people could still take the law into their hands against the decision of the court of the land, including the Court of Appeal, condemned such acts, saying the people needed to embrace peace, adding that government would no longer tolerate the loss of lives and properties in the area.
Peace must be based on justice. Government has the capacity to take over that portion of land. But in spite of that, everybody must learn to live under the ambit of the law.
The Commissioner for Land, Obong Enokpan, who also reacted to the call by the people to take over the said piece of land, observed that even with that, there would be no peace if the people themselves would not embrace peace.
We are here to say, please let it be peace.
Earlier, the chairman of Ibionibom local government, Obong Godwin Ekpo, had informed the governor and members of the State Boundary Committee of the council's efforts to resolve the crisis. Obong Ekpo, who expressed hope that the governor's visit to the area over the issue would bring peace, called on government to take over the said piece of land to ensure peace. Obong Ekpo's words were corroborated by the paramount ruler, Okuku Ime-Udo Sorinya, the vice chairman, Mrs. Shirley Allen, the council's legislative leader, Mr. Godwin Ekpenyo, the president of Iwadu, Pastor Joseph Akpan, and the vice president, Mr. Ime Omon, as well as a representative of Idoro village, Barrister Akpan. The village head of Ekambok, Chief Michael Ekanam, who attended the session with members of his council, told his side of the story through the deputy village head, Mr. Emmanuel Accra, while the village head of Idoro was absent as he was said to be in police custody.
The wife of the state governor, Mrs. Akaito Norma Akpabio, has spoken on the need for candidate People's Democratic Party in the forthcoming elections. Mrs. Akpabio in Anikona local government in continuation of local government areas to mobilize the women to support the PDP. Echunibanga Fadi's report as read in our studio.
The PDP Women Campaign Rally was an avenue for Mrs. Akpabio to interact with the rural women who came out en masse from different communities to welcome her and the team. At Odorikwe, headquarters of Inilo area, the governor's wife told the women that PDP is the only political party that puts their interests and welfare. Mrs. Akpabio also presented the wife of the PDP candidate, Mrs. Martha Udom Emmanuel, to the women. In the gathering, the wife of the governorship candidate, Mrs. Martha Udom Emmanuel, promised that she will not disappoint them if her husband is elected. In their goodwill messages, the chairman of INI, Mr. Etetamawatam, his wife, Mfonisu, the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Dr. Gloria Edith, PDP Woman Leader, Obangawan Roslyn Udofia, Chief Otu Robert Akpan, Chief Godwin Udodo, Engineer Ibore Kanem, and Mr. Emmanuel Ekpenyong reaffirmed his readiness to queue behind PDP in the upcoming elections. From Owe in Ini, the state lady visited Ibiakun Torokpo, headquarters of Ikono local government area, where she emphasized the need for women to support President Goodluck Jonathan for a second term, Governor Akpabio for Senate, Mr. Udom Emmanuel for Governor, Engineer Ibore Kanem, House of Representatives, and Mr. Emmanuel Ekpenyong for State House of Assembly. Presenting Mrs. Martha Udom Emmanuel to the women, Mrs. Akpabio advised them to resist attempts by any politician to derail them from the right path.
And the PDP is a corner.
On her part, Mrs. Martha Emmanuel redoubled his wife if Udom emerges governor. Political in Ikono, including the local government chairman, Mr. Emmanuel Lupong, Margaret Nyong, Obangawan Lovina Omoefa, Mrs. Udwang Ibore Kanem, and Barrister Godi Umo also addressed the rally. Mrs. The team were received by women and major political stakeholders from a government area, including the governorship candidate, Mr. Moses Ekbo, the Commissioner for Information and Communications, Mr. Umana, his wife, Maureen, wife of the chairman, Mary Ikbaisong, chairman of EACOM, Deaconess Christy Oba, Mrs. Grace Iwuk, Mercy Isonguyo, and Mr. Ikbasong, who reassured candidates of PDP in the elections.
ABAC has no option. We have just one option. That option is what?
Your Excellency, we will do the needful on that day. We have very heavy units in this town.
The governor's wife presented Mrs. Martha Udom Emmanuel to the women and charged them to resist attempts by self-seeking politicians to lure them from the right direction. In all the local government areas visited by Mrs. Akpabio, the women rendered solidarity songs for PDP.
Secretary to the State Government advises Councillor Rubium to win the success of elections. Stay tuned for these after the break.
Gereke Beswe Tata di campaign. Generally, Jim Benega on Yanko. A Louis Rufo said of Messilfo. A Louis Tina, you don't mess with them.
The Rudum Emmanuel at the time I saw in Emmanuel. Therefore, it's a man military. When finally, His Excellency and your poor minister, they can be not a tire for the Moses when Moses. When you look at what you are getting, I get a way on. Joseph, I got I'm not looking for Jerry. At the amount of one home. Sitting on a quarter, I'm out of the one there. When they make a full of it, oh, Roma has the full of the end. Somebody in a man. You know, it's like
Udom is right and fair. Udom is the best. For Kwai said, Udom is right and fair. Behold our next governor.
The Secretary to the State Government, Engineer Nkeru Mekanum, has called on of Nsirubium Local Government Council to mobilize support for the successful conduct of the forthcoming elections. Engineer Nkeru gave the charge during a visit on him by serving councillors of the area. They said as representatives of the people in various wards, they were in vantage position to sensitize the electorate on the need to support the People's Democratic Party, PDP, for continued infrastructural transformation of the area. Engineer Kanem affirmed that democracy was the best system of government and stressed the need for the grassroots leaders to ensure that their constituents obtain permanent voters card PVC so as to elect candidates of their choice. The Secretary to the State Government, who is an indigene of Nsirubium Local Government, advised those who may have been defeated during the primaries to return to the party, saying that the PDP umbrella is wide and accommodating.
Nsirubium had always been PDP. We cannot now, when we should be enjoying the fruit of that support, shift our grounds to another party. If you are not favored by certain appointments, large enough, and there's enough room, there are other things within the party for people to get. So if at this point in time you are not favored, you should sit back, stay with the party, and continue to work for the party's success, knowing that there will always be another opportunity.
In their separate remarks, the leader of the Legislative Council, Nsirubium, Mr. Michael Okun, and the councillor representing Ubium South Ward 1, Mr. Peter Okun, expressed appreciation to Governor Godswill Akpabio for appointing their son as the Secretary to the State Government and congratulated Engineer Kanem for the elevation. He also appreciated the Governor for appointing more 8 sons of Nsirubium Local Government area as his personal aides and pledged to stand by the Governor to deliver the area for the PDP.
Show solidarity and also to see the grassroots over there, sir. I was so much happy for what His Excellency upon Dr. Godwin have done to the good people of Nsirubium.
He has given us so many personal assistants, senior personal assistants, so many appointments, local appointments from Nsirubium. And we thank him for this noble gesture. And we in this regard, we ask you to convey our heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency.
In Ikorekpene and Uyo Diocese of the Catholic Church have engaged in a novelty football match. The kickoff of the match, which took place at the Queen of Apostles Seminary Sports Grounds at Farabong, was taken by the Chancellor of the Diocese, Reverend II. The football match was part of the activities to mark this year's Conference of Women in Religion Catholic Church.
The novelty football match between the religious women of both Uyo and Ikorekpene Diocese was in line with the call by Pope Francis I that Catholic faithful should express the joy of Christ in this year's celebration of consecrated women. The Reverend Father Godian Otu took the kickoff of the match in the company of Reverend Sisters of the two dioceses. The two teams battled in the first 45 minutes of the game without a goal. Luck came the way of players for Ikorekpene Diocese as Sister Cecilia Agubo stalked the ball behind the net of their opponent in the 87th minute of the match. The goal by Sister Cecilia was the only goal of the encounter and the winning goal for Ikorekpene Diocese. Addressing the people, the Chancellor of Ikorekpene Diocese, the Reverend Father Godian Otu, lauded women of both teams for their commitment to God's work and for accepting to participate in the tournament. The Reverend Father Otu noted that the celebration will not end with novelty football match in the state, but that Ogoja Diocese will soon host religious women from Port Harcourt, Calabar, and the national body in October 2015.
All the same, you perform very well.
In her remarks, Sister Mary Gabriel Izora expressed satisfaction with the performance of the women in the football match, stressing that the game had no loser since both teams played well.
I noticed that the two religious groups were very excited and they were very happy even at the end of the match.
The coaches of the two teams and some spectators expressed appreciation to the organizers of the tournament and enjoined the women to keep the spirit.
We're happy that the two teams came to entertain us and to revive them. Even though they are religious, they have shown that they are still human.
I'm so happy. Even though Ikorekpene scored one against Uyo, but for me, that we are not defeated. I wasn't really sure. I said, let me just see. Yeah, I was happy I made it. I was happy we made it.
The 2015 Nigerian Conference of Women Religious of Catholic Church had as its theme, Consecrated Life in the 21st Century, an African Perspective.
The state of the Sports Association of Nigeria has congratulated the MPN and NPC joint ventures for consistently sponsoring secondary schools athletics championships in Akwa Ibom State. The chairman of the association, in a statement, said the championships over the years has helped to discover talent in track and field sport for Akwa Ibom State in particular and Nigeria in general. Swan also commended Mr. the consultant to the championship, for not only organizing the year but making it work for the children of the state. The Swan chairman said that they both continue to identify with the championship and call on other corporate sectors to emulate Mobile in order to help develop sports in the state. Newly arrived ambassadors of the Republic of South Korea and that of Indonesia have presented letters of credence to President Goodluck Jonathan of Nigeria. These and other sport from the international news segment as presented by Mercy Ekere.
President Goodluck Jonathan has received letters of credence from South Korean and Indonesian ambassadors to Nigeria. The new ambassadors, Jonathan Epp, to the international communities, especially those that are more technologically advanced, to complement the efforts of Nigeria in building a more secure country in which Nigerians and foreigners can live in safety. The two ambassadors to work to strengthen and economic ties and relations that their countries have with Nigeria. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is set to smart card readers on Saturday to prove the workability of the machines in the electoral system. According to the INEC National Commissioner on Information, Dr. Chris Iyimoja, the exercise is held in 2 states in each of the geopolitical zones of the Federation.
So even though the Commission had satisfactorily tested the smart card readers before the rescheduling of the elections, it is to further conduct more rigorous field testing of the functionality of the card readers, which will be deployed for the accreditation of voters on election day.
A documentary film, India's Daughter, about a fatal gang rape of a woman in New Delhi in 2012, which was scheduled to premiere in India and on the International Women's Day, has been banned. The ban was debated in India's parliament over government's concern about the comments made by one of the rapists. The documentary features conversations with Mukesh Singh and fellow convicts who raped, tortured, and killed a 23-year-old woman on a moving bus in December 2012, sparking international concerns on social media and forcing India to toughen anti-rape laws. From to some international media, the rapist the victim for the crime. He also says women are more responsible than men for rape. Line flight CHY and the runway at Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu and crash-landed on a grassy field. According to air traffic controls, the runway because the runway had become slippery after 2 days of rain and because of dense fog. The front of the Airbus was damaged and the plane became stuck in field. Airport officials said no death or serious injuries had been reported on the plane, which had 238 people on board, with passengers suffering burns and bruises. All international flights at Kathmandu Airport have been cancelled. Heavy rain has caused major flooding in northeast Spain. The river had been badly hit after the river Ebro. Homes, 2 bridges collapsed, forcing roads to be closed.
You can watch news online by local AKBC Online. Follow on Twitter at AKBC45 or look at AKBC channel 45. And now to the news again. The People's Party South Zone has expressed Dr. Good over what it described as courageous leadership. The PDP Zonal Executive Committee made the assessment during a one-day visit to Akwa Ibom State. That's it on the news. Thanks for watching, and I'm Jeffrey.